Title: Journey of the Stars. Episode 2: Unexpected Obstacles. Istanbul's nightlights had transformed the city's silhouette into a fairy tale realm. The reflections on the Bosphorus danced with the rhythm of the waves, shimmering under the moonlight. After leaving the production company's office, Demet and Ken found themselves sitting silently on a bench by the seaside. The cool breeze carried the scent of the sea, and the distant sounds of the city created a melancholic backdrop. Both were trying to process the news they had just received. Their much-anticipated project had been canceled. Demet broke the silence by taking a deep breath, her eyes fixed on the gently rolling waves. "It's really disappointing that the project was canceled after all the effort we put in," she said softly, her voice tinged with frustration. Ken shrugged his shoulders and replied with a slight, reassuring smile. "Sometimes we face unexpected obstacles in life," he said thoughtfully. "Maybe this will open the door to a new opportunity for us. Who knows? Perhaps something even better is waiting." Demet turned her head to look at Ken, searching his face for a hint of doubt but finding none. "Are you always this optimistic?" she asked curiously, a faint smile forming on her lips. "I try to be optimistic," Ken responded, his eyes reflecting the lights of the city skyline. "It's better than dwelling on what's gone wrong. Perhaps we can set sail for other projects together. We make a good team." Demet smiled, contemplating this idea as she tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear. "Why not? It seems we have good energy and harmony," she agreed. "Maybe this is a sign that we should take matters into our own hands." They sat for a while longer, sharing thoughts and dreams under the starlit sky. The chill of the night air eventually prompted them to part ways, but both felt a renewed sense of purpose. The next day, Demet and Ken met separately with their managers to assess the situation and plan their next steps. Demet's manager, Ms. Layla, invited her to her cozy office overlooking a bustling street in Beyoğlu. They sat with steaming cups of tea in hand as the aroma of jasmine filled the air. "Demet, these kinds of things happen often in the industry," Ms. Layla said gently, her eyes conveying understanding. "The important thing is not to give up and to be open to new opportunities. You've built a strong reputation. Doors will continue to open for you." "I understand, Ms. Layla, but this project was very important to me," Demet replied, her fingers tracing the rim of her teacup. "I really felt ready to take on a leading role. It's hard not to feel disheartened." Layla nodded sympathetically. "I know it's disappointing, but look, you have new offers coming in. There's a major advertising campaign that wants you as their brand ambassador. Also, we can arrange meetings for a series project abroad. There's interest from producers in Europe." Demet raised her eyebrows in surprise. "Really? I hadn't considered working internationally yet." "It's an exciting possibility," Layla said with a smile. "It could broaden your horizons and expose you to new audiences." Demet nodded thoughtfully, her spirits lifting. "Okay, let's evaluate these options. Maybe a new challenge is just what I need." Meanwhile, Ken was meeting his manager, Mr. Ali, in a quaint cafe nestled in a quiet corner of Nisanasi. The warm ambience and the rich scent of freshly brewed coffee provided a comforting backdrop to their conversation. Mr. Ali was flipping through the files in his hand as he spoke. "Ken, what happened with the project is unfortunate," he began, adjusting his glasses. "But you have a new offer on the table. They've reached out about a lead role in a feature film." "Really?" Ken's eyes widened with interest. "What's the details?" "The film is based on a compelling love story set against the backdrop of historical events," Mr. Ali explained. "The director is an award-winning filmmaker who specifically requested to meet with you. There's also a possibility it will be shown at international festivals, which could significantly boost your profile." Ken leaned back in his chair, excitement building. This could be a great opportunity. "It sounds like a significant project." "Absolutely," Mr. Ali agreed. "But I didn't want to proceed without your approval. Are you interested in pursuing this?" "Of course I'm interested," Ken said decisively. "Let's arrange the meeting as soon as possible." As the days passed quickly, Demet and Ken did not lose touch. They frequently called and messaged each other, sharing developments in their careers and offering support. One evening, as the sun set over the city, Painting the sky in shades of purple and orange, Demet decided to call Ken. "Hey, Ken," she greeted when he picked up. "I have an idea I'd like to discuss with you. Are you free to meet up?" "Sure, Demet," Ken replied warmly. "Where and when shall we meet?" "How about at the new cafe that opened in Katakoi? I've heard great things about it. Is 7 p.m. suitable?" "Perfect," Ken agreed. "See you there." That evening, the cafe buzzed with the lively chatter of patrons and the soft strumming of live acoustic music. Demet arrived first, choosing a quiet corner table by a window overlooking the bustling street. She sipped her tea nervously, the script draft resting on the table before her. Ken arrived shortly after, his face lighting up when he spotted her. "Demet, good to see you," he said, taking a seat. "You too," she replied, smiling. "Thank you for meeting me on such short notice." "Not at all. You sounded excited about something," Ken remarked, noticing the papers on the table. "I am," Demet confirmed, sliding the script toward him. "This is a project I've been thinking about for a long time. It's a dance and music film. I thought we could do a great job together, combining your acting talent and my dance experience." Ken picked up the script, his interest piqued. As he flipped through the pages, his expression grew thoughtful. "This is a really exciting idea," he said after a moment. "The story is compelling, and the characters are rich. I've sketched out the main plot and some character backgrounds," Demet explained. "But it still needs development. If you're interested, we could collaborate and flesh it out together." Ken looked into Demet's eyes, appreciating her passion and dedication. "I'm definitely interested," he said sincerely. "I can see how much this means to you, and I'd love to be a part of it." Demet's face lit up with relief and joy. "That's wonderful. If you accept, we can start meeting with producers to pitch the project." "I'm in," Ken affirmed. "Let's make this happen." The next day, the duo made appointments to meet with several producers. Before their first meeting, they took a leisurely stroll along the seaside promenade to calm their nerves. The sun shimmered on the water, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of nearby trees. "This project will be a big step for both of us," Demet said, watching a group of children play by the shore. "Definitely," Ken agreed, his hands tucked into his pockets. "But I believe we can succeed together. We've both worked hard to get where we are." Demet glanced at him appreciatively. "It's encouraging to have a partner who believes in the project as much as I do." They arrived at the production company, where they were greeted warmly by producer Mr. Salim and his partner Ms. Asli. The office was modern and spacious, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering panoramic views of the city. "Welcome, Demet and Ken," said Mr. Salim, shaking their hands firmly. "We've heard promising things about your project. We're eager to hear all about it," added Ms. Asli, gesturing for them to take a seat in the conference room. Demet took a deep breath and began her presentation, projecting confidence. "Our project's title is Dream Steps. The story follows the journey of a young woman passionate about dance and a man deeply involved in music. It's about how their paths cross, the obstacles they face in pursuing their dreams, and the support they provide each other along the way." Ken chimed in. "It's not just a love story. It also explores how art can bring people together and emphasizes the importance of following one's passions despite the challenges." As they spoke, the producers listened attentively, occasionally nodding and taking notes. The room was filled with an air of excitement. "This is a really intriguing concept," Ms. Asli said thoughtfully. "What's your vision for the production?" Demet replied, "We plan to shoot in various iconic locations around Istanbul to capture the city's vibrant culture. For the music and dance sequences, we intend to collaborate with professional choreographers and musicians to ensure authenticity and high quality." After a moment of consideration, Mr. Salim smiled broadly. "Your project is very promising. We appreciate innovative ideas like this and are always looking to support fresh talent. If we can reach an agreement on the details, we'd be happy to move forward and begin the production phase as soon as possible," added Ms. Asli. Demet and Ken exchanged delighted glances. The meeting had gone better than they could have hoped. As they left the office, Demet could hardly contain her excitement. "I think we did it," she exclaimed, her eyes shining. "It's a great start, Ken agreed, grinning. But there's still a lot of work ahead. Absolutely, but I believe we're up to the challenge, Demet said confidently. In the following weeks, preparations for the project progressed rapidly. They spent long hours refining the script, holding auditions to cast the supporting roles, and assembling a dedicated crew. The process was intense but fulfilling, and their collaboration deepened both professionally and personally. One evening, after a particularly productive rehearsal, they sat in a cozy cafe nestled in a quiet alleyway. The warm glow of candlelight and the soft hum of conversation created an intimate atmosphere. Demet hesitated before speaking, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of her coffee cup. "Ken, there's something I want to tell you," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. Ken looked up, concern flickering in his eyes. "Is everything all right?" he asked gently. "Yes, everything's fine," she assured him, mustering a smile. "I just wanted to say that this project isn't just a career move for me. Working with you has been special. I've appreciated getting to know you better." A soft smile spread across Ken's face. "I feel the same way," he admitted. "Collaborating with you has been a highlight of my career. You've inspired me in many ways." They held each other's gaze for a moment, an unspoken understanding passing between them. The air seemed to crackle with unacknowledged emotions. However, both were aware of the importance of maintaining professionalism, and they decided to proceed with care. When filming began, the harmony among the team was exceptional. The first day on set was a whirlwind of activity, but everything fell into place seamlessly. As the director called action for the first scene, a sense of accomplishment washed over them. Throughout the shoot, Demet and Ken's chemistry was palpable, not just on screen but also behind the scenes. Their dedication and positive attitude set the tone for the entire crew, fostering a collaborative and enthusiastic environment. However, as the project gained attention, the media began to notice the closeness between the duo. Gossip columns speculated about a possible romance, and paparazzi started following them, hoping to capture incriminating photos. One evening, when Demet returned home after a long day of filming, she was startled to find a cluster of journalists waiting outside her apartment building. Flashes went off as she approached, and voices clamored over each other with intrusive questions. "Demet, are you and Yaman dating? Do you spend time together off the set? Can you comment on the rumors about your relationship?" Feeling overwhelmed and invaded, Demet hurried inside without responding. Her heart pounded as she leaned against the closed door, taking a moment to steady herself. She immediately called Ken. "Ken, the media is hounding us," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "They were outside my building tonight, asking personal questions. What are we going to do?" Ken listened sympathetically. "I'm sorry you had to deal with that," he said. "Unfortunately, this kind of intrusion is an unfortunate part of our profession, but we can manage it." "It's so frustrating," Demet sighed. "Our private lives shouldn't be public property." "I agree," Ken said firmly. "Let's meet with our managers tomorrow and come up with a strategy to handle this. We need to protect our privacy and the integrity of our project." The next day, they convened with their managers and the producers to discuss the situation. Ms. Layla addressed the group with a calm authority. "If we don't want these rumors to negatively affect the project, we need to take control of the narrative," she said. "I suggest we make a clear, professional statement." Mr. Ali nodded in agreement. "Perhaps you could give a joint interview where you focus on the project and clarify that your relationship is strictly professional." Demet and Ken exchanged glances and agreed to the plan. They arranged to appear on a popular talk show known for its respectful approach. During the interview, the host broached the topic delicately. "There's been a lot of buzz about the chemistry between you two," she remarked with a friendly smile. "Do you get along as well off-screen as you do on-screen?" Demet smiled graciously. "Working with Ken has been a pleasure," she replied. "We share a professional rapport that translates well on screen. We're both very dedicated to our craft." Ken added, "Demet is an incredible talent and a true professional. Collaborating with her has enriched the project immensely." The host nodded, seeming satisfied with their responses. The rest of the interview focused on the film's themes and their creative process. The interview was well received, and media speculation began to subside. However, The experience served as a reminder of the importance of maintaining boundaries between their personal and professional lives. As filming continued, the project team encountered an exciting development. A renowned musician, Mr. Murat Kaya, had agreed to compose the film's score. When he met Demet and Ken on set, he expressed his admiration. "Your performances are truly inspiring," he said warmly. "I can feel the energy between you, and I aim to capture that in the music." Collaborating with Mr. Kaya elevated the project to new heights. The music added depth and emotion to the story, enhancing the overall impact. As the project neared completion, the team organized a celebratory dinner at an elegant restaurant overlooking the city. It was an evening filled with laughter, gratitude, and a shared sense of accomplishment. During the meal, Mr. Salim stood and raised his glass. "I'd like to propose a toast," he announced, his voice carrying over the quiet conversations. "This project is a collective achievement, and I want to especially thank Demet and Can. Without your dedication, talent, and the remarkable synergy between you, we wouldn't have reached this point." The room filled with applause as everyone raised their glasses. Demet and Can exchanged a meaningful glance, their hearts full. At the film's premiere, anticipation was high. The red carpet was lined with photographers, reporters, and enthusiastic fans. As Demet and Can stepped out of the car, the crowd erupted in cheers. They posed gracefully, fielding questions with poise and highlighting the collaborative effort behind the film. Inside the Grand Theater, the atmosphere was electric. When the credits rolled at the end of the screening, the audience rose in a standing ovation. Tears welled in Demet's eyes as she absorbed the moment. At the after-party, they found a quiet corner to reflect. "We did it," Demet whispered, her voice filled with awe. "We really did," Ken agreed, a satisfied smile on his face. "All the hard work paid off. This feels like the beginning of something even bigger," Demet mused. "Perhaps it is," Ken said thoughtfully. "Maybe we can embark on more projects together. Our partnership seems to resonate with people." Demet nodded slowly. "I'd like that," she admitted. "Working with you has been rewarding on so many levels." Just then, their managers approached with excited expressions. "We've just received news," Ms. Layla announced. "You've been invited to an international film festival. Our film will be screened there." Demet and Ken exchanged astonished glances. "That's incredible," Demet exclaimed. "Our dreams are unfolding," Ken added, his eyes shining with anticipation. They had begun to be recognized not only in Turkey, but also on the international stage. This milestone signified a new chapter in their careers and opened doors to endless possibilities. As they stood together, surrounded by the buzz of celebration, both felt a profound sense of gratitude and excitement for what the future held. Episode end note. In this episode, we witnessed how Demet and Ken overcame the obstacles they faced and achieved success by working together. While dealing with media pressure and rumors, they maintained their professional stance and continued to pursue their dreams. During this process, as their bond strengthened, new doors opened in their careers, giving them the opportunity to be recognized on the international stage. Note: this story is a fictional work inspired by the public personas of Demet Özdemir and Yaman. Events and characters are entirely fictional and are not directly connected to real individuals. The story is created to inspire and entertain audiences.